seconds. I don't think it paused. Okay, now it's recording. Okay. Sorry, my other computer decided to restart right when I was trying to do my Zoom. So I had to switch over to my phone. Anyways, I think today I'm just going to go through the form up to the point to third King Kong, and then work. I'm just going to go get to that point, and then we're going to do some moves from there. So some different moves. Switch this just a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. Oh, okay. Not quite there, but a little better. All right. Lift a little too much now. All right. Always take a minute to relax and sink everything into the ground. And let all the heaviness go to the legs. Really relax. Okay. So that's the first, more or less the first third of the form. Maybe not quite, but as far as moves, it's about the first third of the form. Hold on, make sure this is charged. Still not working. All right, give me 1 second. All right. Had to pick a different angle for there's too many long story. Anyway, so now we're going from this position, third King Kong. I'm gonna go over a couple moves just to get the couple moves before that, just because never gone over those moves too much. Got over them a few times, but let's do a little bit more. That's a little better, I think. Okay. So let's go back to this move. Second time you've done it this way. Go over this way. The feet are gonna come in like this, and like a Wing Chun stance. So the left foot comes in, do this. This foot flips over. Now you go the other way. I'll do it from the other side so you see. You go this way. It's just like when you do this move, which we do all over the form. It's figure 8. The only difference is here you're going over, over the wrist. So anyway, go over here, over here. Now you're gonna turn. Don't do this if you're on a rug like I am. Turn. What I meant to say is, your foot's gonna turn. So if I'm on the wood floor like right now, it's real easy to turn, right? If you're on a rug, you don't want to do that because you don't want your knee to turn and your ankle doesn't, right? So in that case, you would just simply turn your foot. All right. So we've gone over that move before, but I just want to do it a little bit more. So here you turn just like against the wall, balance. Come back here. Through the hole, you pull the bucket out the well. Side. And this way. Now wind up the whole torso. Almost like you're going to swing a baseball bat. Wind up the legs. Now, don't punch with the arms, use your body. You're going to turn your body. Now, spiral here. Out. Down. Same kind of spiral, but now with the hands open. And open up. Now, this is the part where you come in. The hand and the foot together. And then third. 4. Now, the first few times when you do this move, you're doing this thing, right? The third one's going to be different. Third one, instead of going here, right? It's going to do the opposite. Well, kind of the opposite. Opposed to twisting this way, you're going to twist back. And twist forward. So instead of going here, like the knuckle here is right in the center here, right? Instead of turning there, it goes this way. Then as it comes in, this hand is going to do this. Now, this hand is going to do the same thing, but it's a little delayed. So this goes first, then this one, and they're both going to kind of catch up. This one will catch up to this. So, anyways, let's just see this here. Now, the back goes back. This comes forward. Now, back. Do that. The foot slides out on the heel. This way. And just about 50-50. But as soon as the hands come together, you're already going to be pushing. It's like you're moving here, like there's a ball here. You'll be using your legs to push the ball over this way, right? So do it again. We'll do a slight angle. Yeah. It'll be easier to see. Now, so come together, I'm turning, use my legs, back the other way, and then, so if you were looking down from above, this would look like a Q, right? This would like circle, and then this. Another way to look at it is like a witch's brew. You got your stick here and you're using your legs. If you did that, there's always a slight delay, right? It wouldn't look like this. You'd move your legs, and then the waist would allow it to catch up. So it also gives this effect of, and you can do this to the whole form, but on this part of the form, it's more obvious. And I was going to say this effect that's kind of a like the the cabbage patch, you know, right? You don't go like this, right? It's like a delay. So it's kind of the same. You're doing the same thing with Tai Chi, except for there's a certain connection and a rhythm to it where you're using the legs, then the waist, then upper body you only use the very last second. So anyways, so you're using this like cabbage patch type thing, right? This the delay movement. You'll see that in this. Once you get to about right here, so you turn, and I'm turning back. And the legs are already turning back, the upper body's catching up. Right? There's an exercise where you can just do this, just do a circle. You're actually only going to do one of these circles, but for an exercise, you can just do this. Imagine you're stirring something that's real thick, almost like cement. So you got to use your legs to really push your torso. Right. This is a good exercise just to do by itself. I'll show you from a different angle. I'm gonna go out here. Look like this. So let's just go ahead and do the move. That's an exercise. The exercise is just doing the circle, right? Continue to here. One circle comes out this way like a cube. Now you're gonna draw back. Yeah, but this time it's gonna be. This is what we do. This usually 3 times, but once again, this is another exercise you could just do over and over and over as an exercise. So I'm gonna go back over those moves again. So just look at just the hand motions first, right? So you're here is this goes up that way, and so is this one. Meet in front of you. And then let's make a circle. Then out. Then they're gonna. As you push forward, this. And when you come back again, supposed to doing it this way, it's gonna look like this. You switch. You're using your waist or waist. So let's try that with the legs. This part of the form is very very different. Once you hit Third King Kong, this whole section here is very different from all the moves before, and even a lot different from a lot of the moves you do after. But it's actually very similar to the second form, Pao Choi, which is more just emphasizes some different stuff, like a little faster. We'll go over that later. Anyway, so this part of the form, this part of the set here is very similar to the second set. So remember, what power is this? I'm not going like this, right? I mean, maybe in the beginning, but it's really more. The Dandian is here, the back of the Dandian, they call the green one right here, where it meets the spine, I guess. It goes out. Slides out, push back, and turn. Ryan like a wave, right? Stress it all off the back wave. And forward. Now it's here. So on this part, just like put this, just that part by itself. Looks like let me just do it from here, front end. Make a circle. Then you start to make a circle, but just do a cube. Notice what I'm doing with the body. It's going. It's here, right? Circle, then like cube. So shift your weight all the way back. And shift it forward. Now as you're shifting back this way. Now this hand goes out. This hand goes out. Right. Actually, I'm going to do 3 of these. And then the third one. Here. And then let's go with those moves before we go into the next one. But I'm going to do this whole section today, just so you can just go over it one move at a time. We'll do each move over and over, so you can. This like when you're doing this section of the form, when you're really practicing it, like you can practice just this section by itself, and then just do each of these moves. You're just gonna repeat them over and over. And they nickname this part of the form "pulling coffee," and that it's like you're hard to explain, but it's a little bit, you're kind of working power a little bit more in this one, like a rubbery type power, the power you would use for, like, say someone's twisting your arm or that type of thing, right? So it's like someone's doing an arm lock on you, right? Going here, right? You don't want it to lock up. If you let this lock to here, it locks to your lower back and then here, and they have you under control, right? What you want to do is when they're trying to lock those 2 points together, you're able to change it. See, so it's hard to explain unless you actually show it, but it's a really kind of cool part of the form, especially for, like I said, for grappling. So let's go over the couple moves. So here, here, here. Once again, circle. And then the second part turns into a cube. Lion, through. See what I'm doing? So there's here. Through. That's it. Just like this. Except for the fist, that doesn't quite go as stretch quite as far, but there. And then this part. So here, this part just really doesn't do anything. I'm just changing my. Same with this. This one doesn't really do much. The shoulders kind of inactive. The only part is the forearm and the wrist move, but they move with the dandian. So the dandian turns, the knees turn. You don't turn the shoulder with it. It's just here, you're ready to turn your body. So not so much doing this as now. Let's go through. See that? Um, let's go over. So let's go to the next part of the form, and then we'll break it down a little bit after. So before I do that, I'm gonna go from the side first. So from both sides. Side. I'm throwing in the next move, but I'll show you that. Do that over. The last move is the twist. So down here. This hands on the hip. And you twist your waist. So once again, hands are doing that. And then from here you twist. All right. And twist, and it's basically here, but you're going twisting the waist. So it's a shoulder strike. But it's not really the shoulder you're striking with. It's not the shoulder you're using for your power. It's the body here. And the twist. It's like twist the whole body here. Anyway, so the next move after that, it's gonna look like this. So I'll do it a little bit. I'll sink too low. Just do it here, here. Now, next move is similar to the other one that you do this. This hand just kind of goes here, it's still on your body. And what you're gonna do is go here, and then you're gonna go here, shoulder strike. And this part's kind of hard to explain, so I'll just show you. So this move here is one of it was Chen Falco, my teacher's teacher's teacher, the super famous Chen style practitioner. He a lot of times they say he would just do this move instead of doing a lot of the forms. They would ask him, how come he never practices the form sometimes, but he said he was doing it all the time just by doing this move. So this is the move. It's one of those moves that it's really hard to explain how to use it other than what I said earlier, like someone's locking you up. It's kind of like they're trying to lock you into one piece. That's why they grab here and here and lock it together, right? It locks together. So you're not letting it lock to one piece. With control, you're breaking the pieces up. So they're not able to lock you together. Right? So that's the best way I can explain it right now. Later on, as you learn it more, it is a pretty fun move. There's a lot of escapes and stuff you can do with it. Anyways, it looks like this here. Now the move is here. This is just a transition. The move is this. So this hand is coming in like this. This hand is going out, so back 45 degrees. And this turns over a little bit. So it's like two things at once. It's like someone's locking your arm back of you, right? So you're going with it, but at the same time, you can also be, say someone's right here. That's how you do your shoulder. You turn your body, this part goes back, unless you strike with this. It's easier to just learn the move now. I'll show you how to use it later, but you want a little explanation on which way the energies are going, which way the energy is going in your arm. So anyways, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So transition, here's the move here. Now on this side, it's all about turning this over, turn it over. But if you notice, this is still back, right? And I'm going to do this. I turn and hit with the hip. At the last minute, this turns over. It's already back. So it looks like this. You do it, it's another move you do 3 times, but this is definitely a move you can do over and over and over and over. It might look different in other parts of the form. So you may notice it's an awkward move to learn at first, you know. So I'm gonna show you a couple different angles before I explain the mechanics of it and more of the mechanics. So transition. No. Right. Goes in. Out. In. Out. Let's see this way. Transition. Is that better? Transition. Now here's the move. This goes out this way. This one goes in this way. Same thing. Like you're pushing back that way. And this is pulling in the hip. So it's hip first. The hip goes back. You shoot back with the leg into this side, right? Then the hands follow like you're underwater. The legs go first. Right there. Think of it this way, like if it feels like you have a little handlebar here. This is a way to do it in the beginning of it to help. In the beginning, they make you help. It may be a little bit different later when you actually really learn how to use the internal part. But to learn this to learn this at first to really, I'd say get a shortcut in how to get the move. Think of this. These moves are just to help you really learn how to move this, right? So I'll give you an example. So here, you're going here, right? Here, this one is going in, while that one's going out. While this one's going in, this is going out. Right? The legs are doing exactly the same thing. So at first, you kind of do them the same time. Use these as like training wheels. It's like you're grabbing onto something and you're going pushing off of it, right? Well, the legs, the heels pushing into the ground that same way, right? Now it's going to make you go over, right? Except for you got to balance it with this side. So while I'm pushing into the heel this way and with this hand that way, right? Notice the back of me, shoot back, right? I'm pulling in with this side, and this foot too is pushing into the toe and pulling in. It's pulling the hip in. Now it's the opposite. Push back this way. Use this hand to push back, and this hand pulls in. So you're doing the same with the legs. This leg is pushing while this one's pushing forward, so it's going. While this is pushing back, this is resisting by pushing this way. They're going the opposite. So it's kind of a lot of theory in there, but it helps with this move, I think. The parts that make sense, go with them. The parts that don't make sense, don't worry about it. You can just, if it doesn't make sense, it's not working, don't worry. Just ask me the next time and I'll try to clarify it. But if it does make sense, go with it. So let me go back to here. Just one other angle. So. Now you do 3 of those, and the next move is let me show you from here. Transition. The transition is just simply moving my body out the way. I'm getting ready for the rest to do so. Transition. 1, 2, 3. Now this hand comes in. This hand goes out like this way. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now it's called a hidden hand. This is called green drag. There's different ways. I've heard it green, black, or blue dragon, whatever. But the black dragon emerges from the sea, or green dragon. Actually, I think green dragon is the one my teacher preferred. Don't matter. So green dragon emerges from the sea. So here, here, now, here, right? So this is kind of like a hidden hand. You pull. It's also the thing with this, the legs are kind of they wind up. This one's pushing this way, this one's pushing this way. So wind up, and then it goes the opposite. So it's going, and then you go this way. Now you push into the heel this way and get this hip out the way. Make it more simple. 3. Go back. No, so I'm shifting my weight. Now you do the same move again. One more time. Here. And then this will be the last part of that section. So, yeah, we may or may not do those last 2 moves. We'll see. We'll see. I would think we actually do have. Kind of want to go back over these other moves again, but you know, you want to actually with these moves, you want to get a basic idea with them, but don't let it give you a headache. You just want to just try. These moves are a little funny at first. That's why, but you might as well start trying it especially once you've gotten the third King Kong. That's probably the next move. So let's go back from here. There's a couple different angles. Now here, when you do the second one, notice how we went. Okay, so let me do this part again. Here. Here. This hand actually goes first, so it's it can be a double strike, or it could be a double strike, or striking one way or the other. So in other words, let me go from the side. So from here, it's to be an elbow. See? This hand is still on you. The thing I talked about with the elbow earlier, the hand doesn't do this. It's not this either, but it's slight bend. Otherwise, you don't get a good point on it. It's a slight point. I'm sure anybody y'all who done any kind of Thai boxing know, you don't hit this right. It's a little fold. Same thing in Tai Chi. A little fold. So, let's see. Here. All right. So you go. This goes back for an elbow, right? And this goes. You almost use this. This is actually a little primary, in the primary secondary, and that this is just in front of it. It's almost the same time, really, but this is slightly in front of it. Okay. So here, do it again. And the second time, you go here, but now you're going to continue with these elbows, and it's going to look like it'll look like this. Sorry. Second time. Second time, you're going to go here. It's going to continue, and this it goes boom, but as it continues, this hand's going to go like here. Then they're going to switch here, and they're going to switch here, and you go into the next move. So, here, here. When you do it this way, it's well, let me go into that move later. First, it's just good to do this part. So this part, it looks like this, right? And here you're kind of emphasizing the elbow. And this, but it's really the same move as this. And wave hands like clouds. It looks like this, and Yang style, it looks like this. But we're doing Chen style, it looks like. There's a little bit more of an obvious turn, obvious spiral to it. Anyways, we're not doing exactly that. We're doing that. What's this? You see that? So that's just an easier way to see what it. We'll learn this later. It's not too far away in the set. You do it 3 different times, and it's a repeating move. But it's one of the moves you do all over the place, like this, right? So, anyways, so that's it. Here, I'm just look at the hands here. I'm not really doing the whole body. It's this. Okay. So let's put that together. Here, this is called. How I forgot. Translates as 9-inch elbow. You're supposed to be, or 8-inch elbow or something. It's supposed to be your shoulder. I'm sorry. Your shoulder. Your shoulder is supposed to be like that 8 inches from the ground. I'm not doing that move, but that's you're flexible enough. That's the whole idea. Anyways, here. Now, transition. When dragon emerges with water. Do it again. Here, 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 here. Now the difference is in this part, it's going to go into this move, which we should probably do next. I'll show it to you a couple times. I'll just show you at the. I'll do it from different angles. I'll just show it to you at the end of each one. It makes sense. We have time. This is the part where the front foot turns out, of course. Do this move. Here, we've already done this move before. Except for you're coming out straight, as opposed to before you do it, run diagonal down this way before you do this. Here, same exact thing. So here, but it's all about like we talk about. I was talking about doing this a lot, really relaxing the upper body here. This is a good example of where you do that. You're might not look like that, but then you go slow. You're letting you're dropping everything to here. And then once it gets to here, it comes out straight, as opposed to before where it comes out diagonal, right? Diagonal down. Here, it's gonna go straight. Only it's not here. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Forward. And the footwork's the same as that other, almost the same as that other part too, where you're like here and you step, do the same thing. Except you're not going to the corner, you're going straight. Only difference. And you're not going diagonal this way either, straight. Next move will be 3 palms changing, twist under the elbow, and we're doing wave hands like wow. And I'm sorry, step back, curl the elbows. Then the elbow moves. And you repeat all of this again. This is all a repeat. This is a repeat. But this time, instead of going into this, we'll be going into another elbow. Here, here, here. And then this part will be a repeat. And I'll just show a little preview. So let's go back over the moves real quick, the ones we did today. Yes, better angle. Yeah, okay. So let me do it this way, it might help you. Not quite straight on. Skip the move there, sorry. Right. think there's a minute left. Let's see if I have 2 minutes, so I'm gonna go one more time. Main thing is really to remember just to repeat a lot of this. Almost basically. Really use your legs when you're doing this. Pushing your legs.